Welcome to Getting Context. I'm sitting here with my friend Koen, who has a lot of experience working with people who went through very traumatic experiences. He has experience in many different capacities in working with them, supporting them, um, healing them, helping to heal them. And today I want to ask him a few questions about his job, about psychotherapy, what it is, what you can expect, and how he sees it, his specific approach. So, Koen, that's correct, right? You work as a psychotherapist?
Yes, hello William, good
Hi.
afternoon.
Hi.
Yes, I work as a psychotherapist in Rwanda, in Kigali. I have a counseling center.
Mm-hmm.
Counseling is just another name for therapy or psychotherapy. It's called Humura Counseling. Humura, it means in Kenya, Rwanda, in the local language, to make a situation comfortable for somebody else.
Okay.
So yeah, at this moment I work with local people, Rwandans, and also with expat people who live in Kigali in Rwanda. And also I do online. I have international clients that I see online.
Okay, excellent. And imagine that I don't know anything about psychotherapy, and I seek you out as my therapist, and I go to you. But what can I expect during the first session? Do I need to bring something? Will you ask me something? Should I say something? How does that work?
The most important thing is that you come with a certain motivation, that you feel inside yourself that the situation that you're living in, that you like some support, you like to change something, you like to have a better way of life, you like to improve your talents. And I will ask in the first session how people made the decision to come to therapy. Is it the first time for them? It starts regularly like this.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people, they don't know how to start to tell their story, so I will ask them questions, and we start with comfortable questions that somebody can feel the confidence that we don't need to force stories or feelings. It goes in an organic way in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I have a book here by a Belgian therapist, and the title is "What Brings You Here." Would that be a good start?
Yeah, yeah. That would be a good start, I think. Yeah. So people can open up easy and tell why they came to counseling, why they choose for counseling, what was the evolution to come to counseling.
And
That can tell what is the actual problem that
and
they have.
Mm-hmm. And does somebody have to have a very specific goal?
Yeah, some people they have a very specific goal. For example, people come often to counseling with the question, I like to have more balance between private life and work
Mm-hmm.
life. How can I find more space for myself? Also the balance between work, living life, and also being a parent, being a partner. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
most of the times this is a question to how to find balance in life.
And do you ever give direct advice, or you just ask? Yeah,
Uh,
so we lost the connection for a couple seconds.
yes,
Uh,
I didn't hear the question.
so do you ever give any direct advice, or it's more like you ask questions?
It's a combination. It's asking questions open questions so that people can feel inside themselves what they feel, what they think, because the wisdom, everybody has a kind of a certain wisdom in himself, and it can bring already some solution. When people are really stuck in a certain situation, it's good also to give advice, to maybe to give some comfortability, to choose, maybe to think about a new way of acting, a new way of choosing for the next experience.
So they're like stuck in some kind of loop, like of negativity maybe, or they don't see options.
Yeah. We are conditioned, and we reproduce always patterns most of the time, which we learned from very young age, in my opinion, in contact with our environment, in contact with our parents, with our friends, in school, first boyfriend, first girlfriend, and those patterns we repeat in life. And sometimes it's good to ask a question, or give your opinion, or trigger somebody, provoke somebody. How would it be when you try this way, when you try this perception, when you try this way of thinking?
And how easily can you spot these patterns?
In the first conversation already, I like to make, we call it a genogram. Okay. A genogram, and then we make a composition of the family in 3 generations. Okay. And then I ask questions: where are you born? Who are your siblings? Who are your parents? Do they still live? Your grandparents? Maybe their children? Then we have 4 generations. Okay. So when we talk about experiences in life, easily we come in the interaction of the client with the next generation of the past generation, the parents, and then we can talk about experiences, how were those experiences, and then we can see sometimes that there are patterns. For example, how you were living at home with your parents, what was your way of communication, how much security was there, and then you see at the same time the same way or another way of communication with your partner, and then we can see eventually if there are patterns who are coming back, or sometimes people can have changed already patterns that they learned at home, that they were aware already, and without counseling they choose already another way of communication or another way of interaction with their partner, with their children, because they are aware of the experience they had with their parents, for example. Okay. And in that awareness they try to do it better, or copy, do the same when it was good, or copy when it was not good, and then certain moment they are aware and they think, I'm copying the way my father treated me, and I was not happy how my father treated me, so I like to do it different. And then a man or a woman can come to counseling and say, I have a bag with a lot of experiences with my parents, and I don't like to repeat the same thing to my children. Okay. That can be an issue why people come to counseling, to be aware of their pattern. Yeah.
So people discover this about themselves without help from a therapist. That's quite amazing to me. Like, how are they able to spot the pattern themselves when they are like working within this framework? How can they spot it?
I think these days there is a lot of, on social media, a lot of triggers, a lot of information, and a lot of wisdom also that is shared by a lot of psychologists, psychiatrists, and people on themselves already. They try to think They try to be aware what is happening in my life. I see this most of the time, that people, for example, know more about narcissism, about gaslighting, those terms. Before, I think 10 years ago, it was not mainstream, that people were so easily into that terms. Also, it depends also on the level, I think, of mental abilities. People who have a, yeah, who are strong and who are not agree with the way they were living at home. Yeah, I see also people who are strong and who said very fast when they were young inside themselves, this is not good. My mother or my father is communicating with me. This is not good. I like to do it different. And I think there is a lot of kind of children, of youth or adults, and a lot of people can on themselves, I think, be aware, or also when they go play in the house of another child, another student, and they see another way of communication, and they start to think, and they feel in that communication with the other person, in the other family, this is more suitable for me. So I feel, and at home, I don't have this, and then people can start thinking to change things or to desire things. Yeah.
So a small impulse, actually, one moment or a few moments could have a radically,
Yeah.
like a radical impact, big impact.
I worked a long time in an institution where children were placed by the judge. And sometimes children came there from very young age, from 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, and they had some bad experiences at home. They were not 100% maybe conscious about it, but they were all the time in the groups, in the institution, and they had nobody else, no other experience. What is a family with peaceful communication? How does it feel? So we had sometimes families who presented themselves, and they said a child of the institution can one time a month, for Saturday and Sunday, for the weekend, it can come over to us. And then we saw when the child who is one time in the institution goes to a family like this, it sees that there is also another way of communicating, another way of interaction. There is also a way, a possibility to feel free, to say what they feel and what they want. And then we see they have a possibility more in life to copy. So when you have a new example in your life, then you can learn more than when you have one example and you can only decide, I will do it different or I will repeat the same thing. Yeah, when you have literally another example, you can learn more. So it's good for children, not only children who are placed in an institution, to meet different families, to have different friends, to go in different environments, to learn.
Do you think it's sometimes possible that a client sits down with you and starts changing, not because of what you say, but because of the way you treat them? Like you are open to them, you respect them, and it's not so much what you say, but for the first time maybe ever, like, oh, this person is listening to me, is respecting me. This is something I would like to experience more often, or it's possible to experience this, and it's not exactly what you said, it's how you treated them.
Yes, William, I need to confirm this. I think for a psychotherapist and in general my personality, I think I give space to the clients to tell what they like to tell, to give them time, enough time. And sometimes people, they feel it's like a warm bath. They feel comfortable, they feel the confidence, And only feeling this will change something in the interaction, will change something in their body. I believe that we are always influenced. We have always communication. When we say nothing, this is also communication. So when people can arrive in a setting when they feel non-judgment, when they feel this is a peaceful environment, there is enough light in the room, I have enough space, literally space, I have enough space to tell what I need to tell. Yeah, only that can give relief and more security, and can produce, I think, endorphins, serotonin. It has an effect on the brain, on the body of somebody, to feel accepted and to feel the confidence that the psychotherapist will listen to you and can help you also. Yeah. I believe also in when a client is calling you or asking for an appointment by WhatsApp, for example, by having the appointment, the treatment already started. So the first moment that you have contact with the client and the first words, sentences that you exchange, in that moment already something can change in the body, in the mind, in the feelings and the thoughts of a client. Something like already is a little bit relief. I found somebody and I feel this man is gentle. I feel yeah, we can make some progress together. Yeah.
So some burden drops, some weight drops from your shoulders. Yeah.
That's my experience. Yeah. And I like to be conscious to work with that, with the first contact already in WhatsApp or email, to build up some confidence and to reassure that kind of problem that they have, that I can help them.
And did you have some kind of rules to, like, how long can you go overtime? I think a session you told me it takes 60 minutes. Are you very strict there? Like, it has to be 60 minutes? Is there a reason why it has to be 60 minutes?
Yeah, in general, people, the concentration of people is about 45, 50 minutes. So you start the conversation and you end the conversation. So, and you build up inside the conversation, you go deeper in an item, in a subject. And then after 30 minutes, yeah, there can be a catharsis, there can be catalysator, and there can, something is happening for sure. Yeah, sometimes it's necessary to do 60 minutes. Sometimes it's first conversations, it can be more, 115, 130, when somebody is explaining his whole life and he's coming in a crisis into the counseling session. Yeah, then it can be, yeah, take some longer time.
And is there some kind of rule as to how much time should be between two sessions?
Okay, yeah, that's a very interesting question. Yeah, it's good as a therapist to take some 5 minutes, between 5 and 10 minutes, I think, between two clients to manage, to cope what you heard, what you felt, and to center you during the therapy session. It's necessary that the therapist is centered.
What does that mean? What does that mean, centered?
Oh, that you feel a deep gravity inside yourself, that you go in interaction with your client in a way that you stay calm, that you stay peaceful inside yourself, that you're not becoming too emotional. So gravity, grounded, centered, having your contact on the chair for yourself is necessary, but sometimes we are human beings in the interaction. Yeah, sometimes the stories are heavy or horrible, so you need also for yourself to cope a little bit during already the therapy session, but also after it. And 5 minutes, it's okay. You drink something, you prepare for the next client, but at the same time, yeah, the story, you cope the story for yourself.
And you don't have to go into details, but are there stories that are particularly hard to deal with? Stories that haunt you, that are hard to digest?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think every story touches me, and I think that that's good. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a level that it touches me that I'm not stable anymore, but it touches your feelings, yeah. And there are gradations. So when the more people suffer in their life, the more you're also touched by their story. You have single stories. Yeah, somebody has one problem, an isolated problem in their life. For example, they don't know what to choose, what kind of study to choose. They are 18 years old, they will go to university, and it's difficult to choose what is my talent, where do I like to study. Yeah. This is another kind of problem than somebody, for example, in Rwanda, who comes to you and who says, I'm 34 years old. When I was 5 years old, there was genocide. I saw my parents killed. I lost also two of my sisters, one of my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I grew up with my auntie. Yeah, it was not easy with my auntie at home. Yeah, then at school, for example, they were bullied for a reason. So there are people who suffered a lot, who saw a lot, and who have a lot of trauma. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's normal that you are touched by it. Yeah.
Well, it sounds terrible. So, is there hope for these people when they go through so many extremely traumatic experiences, like surviving genocide and having your family killed?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So there is always the very terrible negative part, but I hear the way those victims of genocide were helped by their family, especially aunties, uncles, or somebody that they don't know, somebody who they don't know, who took care for them. So much of them, they had also good experiences next to, besides the terrible traumatic experience, and that good experience, and also when they were aware of the how can I say, the attachment that they had with their parents, so they can had a good time with their parents before they were killed, for example. And that good time gives also a lot of energy, gives also a lot of stability, security for the future in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see a lot of flexibility in persons, in clients, how they, with help of other people, how they cope, how they like to, they try to survive, but also more than survive, to have quality in their life. Yeah, and also Rwanda government gave a lot of chances in education, I think, to help those children, those young people to study and to be independent
Mm-hmm.
and to have chances in life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned genocide. Does it make a difference if somebody goes through a very traumatic experience and it kind of seems to be happening to that person alone, or it's happening on a collective scale, like you're in a country where many people lost their family. It wasn't just you. Is there a difference there? Is it maybe somehow easier to process the trauma when you know that thousands and thousands of people around me went through the same thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I hear that people in schools, in communities, they find each other to talk, to share experiences. From the other hand, every experience is different. So every experience needs to have an approach which is appropriate to that person. So I think both is necessary at a certain moment in life. But of course, yeah, it helps for them. Some people, they say it also, my problem is this problem. It's a severe problem, but I hear other stories which are very more horrible than my story. So yeah, we are together. Yeah, we are together.
I know you are also an expert on a very specific kind of therapy called cranial sacral therapy.
Yes,
I
yes.
confess to know very, very little about this, so if you could please explain what exactly this is.
Yeah, craniosacral therapy is a body-orientated therapy. Um, it contains a client goes on a physiotherapist table with the clothes on, and then with very soft touches on the feet, on the belly, on the chest, in the neck, on the head. We stay for 8-10 minutes just at the same place, and it's in a way that when somebody is confident enough that you touch him, it's the places are not too sensitive, but enough sensitive to make a comfortable feeling. So we stay with one technique posture at one place of the body, and then we stay there, and we feel that the body, the breath is breathing, and we feel some stress points in the body. We feel the rhythm of the breath, and so you can see that somebody is in stress, and you can feel the longer you stay at one place with this comfortable attitude, the client calms down. It's an old Indian, those are old Indian techniques, but also some Western scientists, they were looking for more deeper reasons. What is craniosacral doing? And they talk about the pulsation of liquids in the body to influence those pulsations, to give more calmness into the body, in the pulsation of the water that we have in the body. But for me, the most important thing is that people visibly become more peaceful, more calm. I use it for clients who are in deep anxiousness. I have clients who enter the room and they tremble. They tremble because of bad experience the last days, weeks, months. They cannot sleep, for example. And then with the techniques of craniosacral therapy, the people calm down. Most of them, they sleep already in the session. And afterwards they say, this is resourcing, rejuvenating. I feel very calm. There are people who come back every week for a session like this, or every month. And sometimes I added, for example, you asked me, how do you start a counseling session? Some people, they don't like to talk, and they come and they say, I have stress. I have stress, I have pain in my neck, but I don't like to talk about it. Do you have something else, another technique to calm me down, my body and mind? And then I present craniosacral therapy. When they feel comfortable that I touch them, but because it's with a touch, then we start the craniosacral session. And afterwards they feel calm. And this is sometimes the beginning of more conversation, to open up more, to explain more what they feel, what is their life situation. if they desire this. So it's sometimes a nice beginning, craniosacral therapy, or sometimes I use it inside the therapeutic process. When I think this can help somebody to calm down, to sleep deeper, yeah, then I introduce it also, and then they can also participate it.
Makes me think of theories by Wilhelm Reich, who talked about armoring and that we become rigid in the body when we as a defense mechanism, but it also closes us off to vibrant experiences, to life, to experiencing life on a joyful level. So it reminds me of this. It's like you're like de-armoring these people who have this rigidity in the body because of what happened to them.
Yeah, yeah. Especially people who are, well, it can be with introvert and extrovert, but for introvert people who build up more stress, who build up more amount of stress, psychosomatic problems can arise. And then craniosacral therapy can help you to recover, to let go things. You can also talk in craniosacral therapy. So then, yeah, there can be some somatic release verbally when people are calming down, and then you can ask them, what do you feel in this moment? Where do you feel it? Yeah, you can make some evolution also in that way. And I believe that when we build up trauma, our cells, our body, it counts. Every traumatic experience, yeah. And so from the other way, when we can relieve trauma and stress, then the level of stress is also decreasing.
Okay. I see we are running out of time, so if people would like to work with you as their therapist, how can they find you?
Oh, they can find me on my website, www.humuracounseling.com.
Okay.
They can find me on my WhatsApp, which is also on the website. Or they can find me by email, info@humuracounseling.com. On Instagram, Humura Counseling, and also on Facebook.
I will add all the links in the description to the video. So
Okay.
so if somebody is interested in maybe having a session with you, they can just write you on WhatsApp.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
you're welcome. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent, Koen. I know you have to go, so it was very interesting. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with me and tell me a little bit more about your work. It was very fascinating, and maybe in the future we can go deeper into one aspect of your work.
Yeah.
This was a little bit more general, but thank you very much. It was very fascinating, very interesting.
Yes, too. Thank you for inviting me to talk about all.
I am very glad you accepted my invitation and that we had this chat. So I hope to do it again.
Okay.
Koen,
Thank you very much, William.
thank you, Koen. Take care. Take care.